Hi everyone. Um, Today we'll be talking about an interesting topic, which is about going beyond just naive prompting with Claude Code. And the reason it is interesting because it will help us to automate a lot of our work, and uh, and we need to understand like how do we work with Claude Code features so that we can use them appropriately for our task. So usually what happens is, um, let me just check if it is recording. Yeah, it is. So usually what happens is you open a Claude session, which means that you have this AI model and you prompt it with some message like I'm stuck at this some error description, and you say how do we fix this, and you press enter, and then it will give you some response. And if you have if you have more questions, you prompt it with new question and kind of iterate over this process. So what happens is, if you suppose lose this session, all of your information is gone. So the next time if you have to, discuss about this specific error, you have to explain Claude with everything, and you might miss some information. It's not efficient, and you have to keep on explaining Claude your problem again and again. So just prompting, and if you're working with a very big problem or like very big code base, this process is very inefficient. So for this, we need to understand how do we give Claude the right context so that we can do our work fast and efficiently. So today we will learn to take at least one step beyond just naive prompting. And to do that, there are two important files we need to understand, which are claude.md file and task.md file. Now, where do we place them? What do we write in them? We'll discuss about this. But whenever you open a Claude session in your code base, there are different things which is visible to Claude. So one is a system prompt. This is built into Claude Code, and you don't control it, and it's hidden. Um, then if you don't have any of these files, you can only the conversation is visible, and we already know that it's not gonna work. So what we do is we build some context into Claude.md, and then task specific context into these task files. So when you're prompting Claude, it's not some magic, is basically how well you can provide a context to these AI models and how well structured they are. And understanding of the context will help you uh, complete your tasks efficiently. So what do these two files do? So claude.md is like a project level rule. So it's like you need to put all of the instructions and higher level uh, information about the project. So when you kind of introduce this project to somebody who is new, you have to tell what are the rules, what is the goal here, what are the overall structure of the repository and all. So this is your project level, and the task empty is very specific to a piece of work. So this is scoped for a certain session. We usually don't want to cross the session. Um, the task should be completed in one session, and it is just about doing it right now. So when you create a task file, you say like read a specific task file and do what it says. So it will take system prompt, Claude MD, task file, and all the conversation in hand. So, and why do we have to do this way? Why can't we just prompt the model and just get um, our solution? So without context file, we'll keep on repeating ourselves in every single session. Claude makes assumptions you didn't want. So it will just create some solution uh, which you actually didn't prompt it to solve. It is, you must have experienced about, we are correcting it a lot, and it's about building less, but correcting it a lot. So this kind of context management is going to help you with it. So when you have right kind of context file, Claude starts already knowing what the rules are, is going to set the right context. We specify what the task is and let it work. And these are much more a controlled way of instructing Claude to do its job. So for a demo, I picked a small goal. It's about, the project is building personal trackers. So we'll build three trackers: expense tracker, time tracker, and exercise tracker. So for this project, we will build a Claude MD and Task MD files. We'll see how the contexts are managed between sessions, and then we'll check the deliverable. All of the files and the code base is, I have added to my repo. I'll the link is shared with the video, so you can go through it. Okay, so this is VS Code. I'm using it as my editor, and so this is my command line, a simple command line. So I'm just going to do clear and then open a Claude session. Okay. And these are my files. There's a README, which tells overall what the the repo is. Then Claude MD is where I have defined what the project is. So if you want to read, you can read here. So the project is about, um, this project contains three personal trackers built in Python as HTML tools. So we have expense tracker, time tracker, exercise tracker, well, basically what it does. Then some project level tech decisions like which language, which interface, where should we store all the actions. So I'm using JSON files to do that. And all of the artifacts will be saved at this path, which is lesson one and personal trackers here. So in the lesson one, we have a goal. So our project is to create personal tracker, and we need to create three trackers under this project. Um, so these are just additional files. We don't need them. They are not a part of the model's context, but when we start the session, it will take in all of this. And then for the task file, I have created task files under .claude, task and personal trackers. This is easy to manage because all the Claude related files are under .claude. So you can manage them easily. So let's take a task tracker task. So now this is much more specific. I did not say anything about um, just a bare minimum description of what these trackers are, but much more detail is present here, like what kind of feature I want. I should be able to view certain things, delete certain things, what kind of exercise I want to include in it, what kind of theme I want, and where the path will be. Actually, I can remove the path. I have already mentioned that in my Claude MD. Similarly, in the expense, what kind of expenses, features I want, what kind of categories, what is the currency, and what is the theme. Now, if you see, all of this information is very much particular to a certain task. In the time tracker, again, what features I want, the rules I want, and the theme, color theme. So if you see, each the requirement for each of the trackers are different. So they are into task files, but there is a common thing which is kind of applicable to every task is written in the Claude MD. So now suppose I want to implement um, task one. So I'm going to copy this. And where is our, okay, terminal. Okay. So we had a prompt here. Read this and do what it says. Okay. So I'm going to write read the task file and do what it says. So this is one session. Um, and if I open another session, so this is one session, this is another session. Okay. So read in this, I'm going to do the next one. Read and do the task. And I can have another session. One, okay. I'll put it here. Oh, it's gonna copy. Okay, anyways. Then I'm gonna do Claude and then copy Claude, read this, and maybe write execute this task. So it doesn't have to be the same prompt. It's more about pointing Claude to a certain task file and trying to get the thing done. This I can kill the term. Okay, so let's see what it's doing. So this one is the exercise tracker. So let's see what it's doing. Let me read the task file first, read the first file. Now let me check the existing project structure to understand the pattern used. No existing tracker built yet. So let me check if the dictionary exists. So it's basically trying to execute all of it. It will ask you some questions in between. So what is the question? The directory exists, but it's empty. I'll build the exercise tracker now for the Claude MD. Now you see, we never pointed it out to task MD. We never pointed it out to Claude MD file, but it understands that it has to read it. So this is one of the important things to understand here. So as per the Claude instruction, it should be an HTML interface, some storage, and say that here. So it's gonna ask you permission to write it. And I think same will happen here. It's working on it. Again, it's gonna ask you if it can write it. In the next session, we will discuss about how can we make it more automated. But I think for now, we need to understand what kind of question it is asking and should we say yes or no. So I think I'm gonna say yes and don't ask again anything which is related to these kind of prompting. These kind of commands. So I'm gonna say just yes. Okay, so now if you see, the expense tracker is built. Here what it does uh, is whatever it's like give you a summary and it is being hosted here. So this is your uh, so I'm gonna copy this one and maybe put it here. Oh, it didn't do it. Let's see. Okay, so to run it, you have to do this. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I have to run this. I didn't read this properly. So what I'm gonna do, have another in terminal. Okay. So here we have expense tracker, and this is our blue and cream theme, I think. That's what we put. Did we? Let's see. So if we go into expense tracker and blue and cream, correct. And food, transport, utilities, entertainment, exactly that's what we have. And We can add, suppose, okay, at this time we spend 500, maybe 40, some party you did, add it. Okay. And now, so I think it's a fully functioning entertainment. You spend $10 for a fare, maybe $10 for ice cream. We can put it again for food. Okay. It also shows some pop-ups, which is good. You spend too much for, let's put for transport, $10, bus maybe. Add. So see, it's so cool. Like, can I delete something? Not sure. Yeah, I can delete it. So if I want to delete, I can delete. This is pretty cool, right? And we just built it in like 2 minutes. Let's see what happened to the other one. Um, so let's see exercise tracker. Let's say yes. Try the servers briefly. Okay, cool. So this is also built. Let's run this. Let's run this. Okay, let's run this. Uh, okay. Can actually run this. So this is blue cream, then it's a teal and so this is what we can add cardio, then running for 30 minutes, some date. See, we have a calendar, exercise. Oops, something broke. Can't we okay. So now this happens, what we do is, oh, there's something happened. Okay. So what you do is, okay, so in the exercise, we are finding a problem. Okay. And I try to enter um, one item. It shows. So now you see the error was for a specific task, and we only interacting um, with that session. So it doesn't have a cross, um, it doesn't cross like this session. Let's see what happened to this one. So let me run the server and test the post endpoint to see what's happening. So our expense tracker is ready. Um, oh, the port is being used. It's fine. So I think the main takeaway from this session is um, we define the scope of a project in Claude MD and then task specific things in task MD files and have very clear distinction between the sessions. So we ask, and once we kind of lose, suppose if we lose these sessions, the information which are present in claude.md and task files, they always remain as is. And you can always, like after you are done with your session, you can also add and update these files. So when you come back to it, you have a new refreshed, updated file. And yeah, so this is how it will work. Um, let's see. You can give it a minute or two and then see if it is a success. And if not, I'll end the session and I'll push the updated code on the Git repo and you can try it yourself. So let's wait for, I'm gonna allow this for the whole session and let's see. Okay, Select cardio, maybe running, 30 minutes, maybe 15 minutes today. Okay. This is the expense. This is already done. This is like time tracker. Let's see if this is built. Oh, it's done. I think it's the problem with the port. I have to change the port and it should be it should work. So push the updated code. But I think with even with one example, you know how this worked. And I hope this is helpful to you. Thank you. And if you have any questions and if you like to know specifics, if you have many other questions, you can post it on the channel and I'll respond there. Thank you.